Gen V Season 2, Episode 4 includes several major twists about Dean Cipher, from an apparent reveal of his powers to the fact that he is keeping a severely burned old body in his house. It's the former that is the most attention-grabbing, and not just because it comes at the end of the episode. Cipher's powers have been a mystery in the early stages of Gen V Season 2, and this somewhat resolves them. It shows us he has the ability to control people, including other soups, their minds, their actions. But that only raises more questions, because moreau doesn't detect any compound V in his blood, believing him to be fully human. Here are 3 insane fan theories about the identity of the burned man from Gen V, incorporating details from Season 2. 1. The burned man is the real Cipher, controlling a host body. This theory suggests that the man in the hyperbaric chamber, heavily implied to be university founder Thomas Godolkin, is the actual puppeteer, not the body we see acting as Cipher. Mind swap. The burned man's true power, amplified by the compound V accident that scarred him, is the ability to project his consciousness and control another person's body as a host. The pain Jordan and Marie feel when Cipher invades their minds may be the side effect of the burned man's power and a consequence of him inhabiting a human host. The Sister Sage scene. The most compelling evidence comes from a scene in Season 2, Episode 5. While having sex with the Cipher we know, Sister Sage covers his eyes and stares intensely at the burned figure. This gesture could symbolize that she is not interested in the host but instead worships the true power residing within the burned man. The long game. This would explain how Cipher is so knowledgeable about Godolkin University's inner workings and has been around for so long. He has likely been using different hosts over the decades to advance his goals for Project Odessa. 2. The burned man is a powerful super designed to be Cipher's pain conduit. Instead of the burned man being the real Cipher, this theory proposes that he is a super created by Vought specifically to absorb all of Cipher's pain, making the host body essentially unkillable. Vought's perfect weapon. In a world of supers, an unstoppable pain-free assassin would be invaluable. This would mean the burned man is a vessel for Cipher's transferred pain, allowing the host to endure extreme physical trauma without breaking. The nature of his burns. His extensive scarring could be the cumulative result of years of pain and injury being transferred to him. A wild idea. This theory aligns with the twisted and grotesque experiments Vought is known for. The idea of a super being created solely to be a living voodoo doll for another's pain is exactly the type of horrific sci-fi concept that fits perfectly within the boys' universe. This theory is grounded in the idea that the burned man is Thomas Godolkin and is genuinely dying, and that Cipher and Sister Sage are racing against time to save him. The mournful music. The theory is backed by Cipher's choice of Mozart, specifically his Violin Sonata No. 21. This was the only sonata he wrote in a minor key, a mournful, uneasy piece composed while his mother was dying. Sister Sage calls this cliché, implying it's an obvious choice given the burned man's condition. Marie's resurrection powers. With the burned man near death, Cipher and Sage are focused on Marie's unique blood-based healing and resurrection powers. The climax of Season 2, Episode 5 shows Marie healing a mortally wounded Annabeth, and hints at the potential for her power to reverse death if performed quickly enough. The bigger picture. If Godolkin is dying, his knowledge and legacy could be lost forever. Cipher and Sage need to revive him to continue his work on Project Odessa, which is revealed to be about unlocking Super's full potential and creating a world where Supers are a master race. Quite how Cipher has powers without Compound V remains to be seen. It may be linked to Project Odessa, or even that he was a natural-born super. But going back to the old man in his home, could those two things be connected? Cipher tells Jordan Lai and Kate Dunlap that the body is his father's. That could be true. And hey, maybe the Dean really is just keeping his old burned man alive, and there's nothing more to it. But this is the boys' universe, and there has to be a good reason for introducing that character. And given the reveal of Cipher's powers, it seems likely they are related in a way that's even greater than being father and son. The burned old man in Gen 5 could be the source of Cipher's powers. If we work on the idea that Marie is somehow wrong, and Cipher is a Supin and the powers we see are his own, then what does that mean for his father? Cipher would need a reason to keep him alive, and doesn't seem like the kind to do it out of love or familial loyalty. It's possible that the Dean's powers somehow allow him to feed on the old man, which could even be why he's aged so much, and keeps him alive as a power source, draining him whenever he does need to use his abilities, which may also be why he seemingly utilizes them quite sparingly. His father could even still be a Supa himself in this scenario, with the Dean drawing on his powers, or the Compound V in his system, to fuel his own. Read next. 7 Gen V soups, who are based on Marvel and DC characters, and how their powers compare. The alternative to this is if Marie is right, that Cipher is human, and does not have powers. Then the possibility becomes that his father, or whoever this burned man really is the one with the powers. That would be a game-changing twist for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it means Cipher might not even be who he says or thinks he is, which itself is already supported by his being at Marie's birth as a doctor. But it would also mean that the old man is one of the most powerful soups we have ever seen. He'd have to be capable not only of controlling or possessing Cipher, but then projecting his abilities through him to use on others. This would also alter the dynamic quite a bit. It's not Cipher willingly keeping him alive, but the person in the chamber forcing him to. That could then mean none of Cipher's actions are his own, and that it's the old man who is pushing his work at Godolkin University and training of Marie, Jordan et al. Another theory is that this is Thomas Godolkin himself. He was briefly seen at the very beginning of Gen V Season 2, in a lab where a fire broke out and killed everyone inside. That was in the 1960s, so the timeline and circumstances do line up for him to be both old and burned, if he is indeed still alive. This could also tie back to Project Odessa and looking to finish his work, though it'd be interesting to see if Cipher is really his son or not in this case. This would be the most dramatic twist of them all, but just about anything is possible in the world of the boys. Cipher is set up as the main villain of Gen V Season 2, so presumably we'll be learning a lot more about his powers and who this old man really is. New episodes of Gen V Season 2 release on Wednesdays on Prime Video. What do you think? Leave a comment below.